Alright, quick video just to point out that, some people give me crap because they say just type in your name and your name shows up. Anyway, here's a quick search on the name Inmendum at YouTube. Alright, so playlists show up, different things like that. Right, okay, but if you search under date added, alright, here you go. You got the last Do Not God video comes up, but then it's just a stream of videos by other people. Alright, and you don't get to an Inmendum, an actual, that's not me, that's some other guy. That's some other guy. You have to keep, hey, that's right, there's nothing here, none. Okay, so you can go all the way back to over a week ago, and there it is. The first Inmendum week is a week old. I mean, it's the last week's. What the fuck, so I'm just saying, it's just weird that my videos don't show up on a keyword search on my name. But anyway, whatever. Okay, on with the regular video. But I gotta hit the button to turn it off.
Okay, kind of a response video to a couple of videos. One of them was kind of a by request thing. I was sent a PM and the guy said, you know, this Don Exodus guy is full of shit and I should point that out. And yeah, he's full of shit, but I think I made a video a while back about him. You know, it's like pro-evolution, but he's religious, you know? And you're like, well, what's the point then? I mean, why defend evolution if you're not going to defend it in the context of it meaning something? You know? Yes, I mean, scientists need to understand evolution, but I mean, it's really not critical. I mean, you can still fly spaceships without, you know, believing in evolution. You know, biology and stuff, you can still accept chromosomes and, you know, all that kind of crap and, you know, do your scientific stuff. So anyway, I just don't see the point. I mean, there's no point in defending evolution if you're just going to come up with some phantasmagorical belief system and just ignore what it really means. I guess that's what, yeah. So anyway, part of this video, I guess, is a response to Rabbit Ape, who sort of brought up the subject of what atheism means. And as if it's, you know, it just means I don't believe in God. And again, you know, a lot of people think that's enough of an explanation. I think that's just bullshit. If you're going to be an atheist, there's a real substantial consequence to it. I mean, it's accepting the notion you know, that biological reproducing life wasn't a brilliant invention by some intelligence, right? I mean, you know, intelligence would imply a God. Wisdom behind the universe would imply a God. So you really can't, you know, you have to look at it for what it is, and what it is chemistry out of control. So let's just go, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's so simple, I don't even know why, you know, it needs explanation, but, you know, we have to understand that, okay, chemistry evolved, it acquired the capacity to reproduce. So it just became a little reproducing, consuming and reproducing machine. That's what these little life forms are. Each one of these little individual life forms have a common ancestor in the past of a little consuming and reproducing little monster. And that's all we are based on. And through this 4 billion years of evolution, I mean halfway through it or so, let's say, it acquired this ability to feel because it was an attribute that was, you know, beneficial to the survivability of organisms to be able to react to their environment in complex and sophisticated ways. And I think we can all figure out that, yes, feelings are helpful in doing that. And so we have this consciousness thing. It begins in our past, and it just complexifies. And so now we're at this stage where we have these organisms that have a very complex psychology. We can see it in ourselves. We can see the ape inside of ourselves. We can see King Kong. When we look in the mirror, we can see a little bit of King Kong in there. All right? And then we have this attribute of language and vocabulary that we acquired, and we can store information in our brains, and we can write stuff in books. And so then we acquire this other thing, this knowledge base, and I would call it this objective knowledge base, okay, where we learn facts, you know, like the world is round, that we evolved, that we're based on the the diagram of just a consuming and reproducing little machine, that there's no reason to presume any of it makes any sense whatsoever. and you know, we have to devise through understanding a moral code, because we understand simple basic things like I'm conscious, the other people are conscious, what I feel they generally feel, you know, I'm not better than they are, you know, pain, it doesn't matter whether I'm experiencing it or they're experiencing it, it's just the qualitative fact of its existence that means something. You know, we can't take this life thing too friggin' personally. But anyway, so we have this objective knowledge base basically competing with the ape thing, you know, the psychology. This psychology that was basically wired by nature. Okay, I'm hungry, I'm horny, I want, I have a big ego, I'm alpha, I'm beta, whatever the hell, you know, your psychology is, and you're driven by this crap. And some of the two bleed together and become what we might be called cultural sensibilities, where they are conditioned or programmed by our maturation, and we can become sophisticated and like little stemware, and you know, drink with our pinkies out and little bullshit like that, and find comfort zones for our psychology, find environments that satisfy our ape, and might even enrich our knowledge. All right, well anyway, so that's the game. And so it's this obvious competition, and in this competition we have to say, yes, if we're going to, you know, a rabbit ape used the word intellectual honesty. Yeah, well, if we're going to be intellectually honest, then we have to admit what the fuck we are. And the fact that it doesn't look like we have a goddamn thing here to accomplish, but to try to figure out how to prevent the horror that we came from, how to clean up this mess, because it's basically just a big fucking mess. Okay, nature created a mess. It didn't create something going somewhere. This train isn't going anywhere. All right, it's a, you know, it's just like us. It's caught in a cycle of chase that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't go anywhere. Can't accomplish anything. We are just need. You know, that's it. We're desire and need. Contrived by nature to to propel us into a future where we just keep doing the same shit all over again, which is reproduce, and that's the game. That's the model, and it's a dismal truth. And if we're not going to accept that truth, if we're going to ignore that and have some sort of phantasmagorical Hopi thing, and presume that we have souls and let our ego, you know, aggrandize our existence, then we're just living in illusions and delusions. You know, then it's just the God delusion all over again, but with evolution. What's the fucking point of that? Like I said, why believe half the science when the science pretty clearly points to the fact, you know, that we're not going anywhere. We're not. There's only negatives to clean up in this mess. This is a zero-sum game. This is rats in a maze contrived for no good purpose. And unless we strive for something like perfection, unless we're going to try to perfect the conscious experience, we got no business playing the fucking game. Because we can't balance on the scales, on rational scales, the cost and the benefit. And it gets a little tricky, I have to admit. It's pretty hard to come up with some sort of objective definition of what pain is worth what gain. Because obviously some people they'll crawl around without arms and legs and shit, you know, and eat their gruel out of a dish or something. I mean, people will do incredible things just to live one more day. Just to keep chasing the desire mechanism that's built into us. So yeah, we're motivated. Our psychology is powerful. But again, if we really want to be intellectually honest, I think there are some general definitions that we can establish, and we can establish that now if we're going to have 6 million people Holocaust every 30 or 40 years, that's too high a price to pay. If we're going to have millions of people starve to death, well, that's too high a price to pay. We have to do better than that. And if we can't do better than that, if we can't do better than, you know, some guy working 18 hours a day doing some monotonous job over and over again, then yeah, fuck us. Fuck the goddamn game. And especially when it comes to looking at the rest of nature, like I said, all these people, Oh, I mean, I'm very anti-abusing or harming animals, but I can't understand any of these tree huggers at all who go to this fanatical extreme. Like, everything has to exist, and we have to have, you know, polar bears, or we have to have all this other crap, you know, living among us. And somehow we don't. We've deprived the world of some magnificence. No, it's just another consuming and reproducing monster. I mean, we're all just Frankensteins of nature's creation. All right, I'm probably out of time. Yeah, but I did that little clip in the beginning. So anyway, yeah, this subject is going to be a continuing subject because it's kind of important. But I just think it's bullshit. I mean, it's like, you know, it's Pyro can't accept that there isn't free will. He's going to keep contriving it. You know, keep making it up out of something. Well, you can, and like you. Who's you? Who's you? Who is you? You're a mechanical process, butthead. Anyway, enough said.